for tuning in. I went to a library sale this weekend and I promised you a book haul video. Afternoon, I got one full paper grocery bag of books for $5, which came out to about 25 cents a book. So no matter what I got, it was an absolute steal. And today I'm going to go through all of those books with you. First off, I mostly went for things I knew I was going to be covering on the show so I could get a copy of them super cheap. And then I also got a bunch of really pretty antique books. And I hate to use the word antique because a lot of them are from the 60s, so we'll say vintage to not make everybody feel old. First up, I have a copy of The Enormous Room by E.E. Cummings. I'm not a huge poetry person. I couldn't pass up this absolutely gorgeous novel. It's a little bit weather-beaten, but who cares? It just adds to the glamour of it. And I also got A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, another beautiful, really vintage hardcover copy of the book. I absolutely love it. I'm trying to see when this was published. It's really old. I think it was 1943. And then, of course, I got two plays. You can't go wrong with old vintage Shakespeare. So I got King Lear and Hamlet, and I know I'm going to be doing Hamlet relatively soon, probably next year. It's a little beat up because it's an old school copy from the 1960s, but who can pass that up? They're beautiful, right? Now we're going to get into the pile that's on my lap because that's how many books I got. An old 1960s copy of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I don't know how I'm going to cover this on the show. I don't really want to. I read it in high school and once was enough for me. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. We are getting into a beautiful vintage copy. Do you see this? It's gorgeous. I love all the shelfware on it, of The Odyssey by Homer. And that coverage is coming out in a couple weeks with classics professor Amy Pistone. So you should keep a lookout for that. That's going to be on the show really soon. We also have, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this, Aeschylus, 4 plays by Aeschylus, because now I'm getting super into Greek mythology, and 4 famous Greek plays from someone whose logo I should totally recognize, the Modern Library of the World's Best Books. The 4 plays are Agamemnon, Oedipus the King, Medea, and the Frogs. And I've really wanted to read The Frogs since I talked to Liv from Myths Baby, so I'm going to be digging into that fairly soon. I have to say, I got this just for myself, The American Rivals of Sherlock Holmes. You know by now, if you've seen my videos or listened to the show, that I am a huge mystery nut, and I love mystery novels, and I love mystery short stories, so I can't wait to read this old Penguin Classics collection of short story. Isn't that cool? Another gorgeous compendium that is going to come in handy, compendium of Daphne De Maurier books. I think it's been scheduled that my first show of next year is going to be Rebecca by Daphne De Maurier, so that's really exciting. Can't wait to read that, even though I've seen the movie a bunch of times. And now I have this gorgeous, gorgeous collection. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this is. The spine is coming off, but that's going to be fixed with some glue. Of complete stories of Edgar Allen Poe. I have other copies of Edgar Allen Poe's short stories, but none of them look like this. Are you kidding me? It's beautiful. I just need a little bit of rubber cement in order to fix the little binding issue that's happening. Then we're going to get into some really interesting stuff. I picked this up because it was beautiful. Look at that spine. It's gorgeous. It's called Kalevala, or Kalevala, The Land of Heroes, translated by W.F. Kirby, Volume 1. And you're wondering to yourself, well, what the hell is that? Well, actually, it turns out that it's a Finnish epic poem that's been translated from Finnish to English. And now I get to learn a little bit about Finnish mythology, which was something that was actually suggested to us on Twitter the other day, was that obviously I cover Greek myths and have covered Greek myths a couple times and will continue to cover Greek mythology in plays, but obviously every culture around the world has its own mythology, so we should probably try to find some fuckboys from other cultures' mythology too. So I might cover Finnish mythology, I don't know. Segueing into that, we have this. Isn't this fantastic? It's from the 1960s. It's called The Study of Folklore. I think it's an old textbook, which I'm really excited to read because I'm a massive nerd, and this will only help with the coverage of other non-Greek mythology and folklore. to be covered on the show. So hopefully that will be a theme for next year. And then of course I had to continue with this just because it's just so damn cute. Would you look at this? It's a French textbook from the 1960s and I couldn't pass it up. It's just so adorable. I guess I've been to Paris twice and it's not my favorite city in the world, but I will say I'm excited to learn French a little bit better than I learned in my one semester of it that I took in college, and hopefully that will help out a little bit. So that was my book haul from my local library's book sale. The next one I think is happening in April, so I'm sure I'm going to get another haul from that. Hopefully I'll visit other book sales soon as well, and tell me about your best steal you've ever gotten in the comments below. So that's about it. Hopefully you'll be seeing some of these books again and listening to them in the podcast in the future, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.